Hey, Bob, enjoy next weekend, too.
All weekends if I can.
No doubt.
Just don't shoot your bullets this way.
Is it time to play the music?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, I think it's time to. To play the music.
You may not find us on your TV because we're being brought to you by
OTR.
brought to you by
27.085 kilohertz.
brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Okay, barring the standard technical difficulties, of which there could be many, the Old Tube Radio Network appears to be beaconing across the airwaves. Can you hear me out there? Over.
Loud.
Sound like the feedback from hell.
What'd you say, Dennis? I was talking to the wife.
Okay, that's probably the safest and best thing to be doing, regardless of whatever cacophony is coming out of your 11-meter radio speaker, which in this case could be a lot like the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radio is glowing in the dark, distributing information and kind of creating the atmosphere of your CB radio, were it to be 1967 or 1972 or heck 2025. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controls that sit in the air chair of the Old Tube Radio Network that has been populating Saturday evenings on 27085 Channel 11 since somewhere in the mid-1980s. We will continue the tradition tonight as we check in with our listeners and also, the point of the net, of course, is to bring forth the tube radios, parade them around the block a time or two, and let the operators know that they're still working, perhaps answer questions, and then let anybody else hear and grab the aura that might have been your radio back in the day when it was only tubes, and solid state was that thing that cost a lot of money in the future. With that said, I will stand by. I want to get a couple of early SWL check-ins if you are out there. And let's do that. We got 61. Who else needs an early check-in? Over.
26. Sounds like a good plan, didn't it?
All right, we've got 24 and 56 just for kicks. Over.
Thank you, Dennis.
It's 650.
And, of course, 650, and I'll get them up on the roster here as well. I hear SWL 13 on the crossband, which appears to be working, so I'll get Mr. Cobra checked in. The Echo link, I believe, is up and running. We will test that as well. Thank you, Joseph, 24, and Phil, 56, and we've got 61 as well. Anybody else that's standing by?
37, just in case.
All right, 37 just in case you need to do something else. And who was the other station? Over?
SWL 48.
48 sounding good. I got you on the Facebook check-in, but you are loud and clear direct here into the Midtown Fresno net control. We get you checked in.
Thanks, Dennis.
Man, Sam is sounding good tonight. We've got stations are listening at oldtuberadio.net. Hello to Moraga, California, Belfast, Maine, Fresno, Edmonton, Alberta, Rancho Cordova, Centerville, Virginia, Ripon, Wisconsin, Fair Oaks, California, Tracy, California. All those stations that were we to have some little bit of ducting, we might hear you guys. So keep it on channel 11. We haven't heard anything from this Northwest yet tonight. The skip died about 90 minutes ago, but that doesn't say that it might not be there. Hello to those listening in at oldtuberadio.net on the video side. What was it? Error 404. Rob is in, and rumor has it that you've got one of the better radios, that Yellowbird, the Robin T240D, was the Panasonic chassis, which was always great for plate modulation. Plus, they put in the 40 channels as well. I can't remember if by that time they had to put in some type of compressor limiter thing or something, but there's always the don't cut the green wire mod as well. UDX 409 He's got OTR on one device, Old Radio Night on another. And we will, speaking of ORN, JT is out there. We're going to try the coast-to-coast link up here in about 10 minutes or so. On with the roll call as I have it. 00, I believe 195 is still up on the hills. Are you listening? All right, yeah, we're going to do one more week of the roster here, and then we'll be back on track for next week. So you did good for the 8 weeks, even when I couldn't hear you. Thanks for checking in. SWL number 1, of course, gets the cosmic check-in. I was looking to see if Mr. OBP is at the radio desk, and indeed he is. He's checking in. So if you're out on the video side, let number 2 know that he is 9 pounds in good modulation, not only in Chestnut and Herndon, but probably at Maple and Butler and Highway 145 in Riverdale as well. SWL3 gets a proxy check-in. Then we skip over to SWL5. That's Levon. I saw the spinning wheel. I wasn't able to jump into the fray and get my name on the wheel over at ORN, but we'll give number 5 a check-in. He will probably be jumping in as well. UDX 111. Hello, Ken. Thanks for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 7. And I'll get a proxy in for 7. Who's the braking station? Go ahead, over. Who is the braking station? Over. 195. I hear you. Over. All right, no problem. Got you in 00195. You're doing the bookends again, so sounding good. Jim, let's go over to... okay, I can't see my list. It's way over there. I should have this memorized by now. 982 Dirt Dog, over.
Proxy, the Dirt Dog.
Okay, we sounded loud tonight from Sanger. Dirt Dog is proxied. SWL 1030. I'm seeing if Idaho is in yet. We haven't heard them live and direct, but they might be coming in. 11 and 12, Dan and Dapper Dan, and rumor has it that to look dapper, not only do you need to dress in the seersucker suit, but if you are sitting in front of a Sonar radio as well, then that just adds to the dapperness. I think that's a word. So we'll get Dan and Dapper Dan checked in, and hopefully you've got the radio hooked up there, DD, to make some contacts near or far out. Peter, the Squamish station's up on the hills in the mobile. Now, they do a good job on sideband on Friday nights when the skip is in, because Ron has a good receiver and Peter and the gang have a good mobile. So be listening in for the BC guys that are going to be out in the mobile listening in. And if there was a night to do it, it should be tonight, because things are nice and quiet. SWL 13 jumped in on the crossband moments ago. I think you heard him through that. So we've got you in, Mike. And let's go back out to Sangertown for SWL 14.
SWL 14 checking in.
But you are sounding good, loud, and clear. We've got some great conditions tonight. And if you've got any glow-in-the-dark radios, we've got a spot for them coming up.
I am looking forward to it.
Good luck, and yeah, I'll stand by.
All right, I think we got the technical stuff down. Looking at the levels here, I think I got that set up. I might have to boost my audio a bit, but let me check one more. No, we're good. We're good all the way around. So 14 is in. SWL 15, where it's tomorrow somewhere. I haven't seen Hans yet. He will probably be in, or we'll get him via proxy. SWL 16. I'm not sure what the word is. If he is back. Yes, okay. Checking in from Oshkosh, top of the evening. We've got the standee sitting in behind the monitor here. So sounding good from Oshkosh, Bagosh. The X is in the squares. It's showing up. Yeah, it's showing up. We're doing good. Let's go to SWL 17. Running the foot switch. It seems to be working. I seem to be on the air. SWL 18. I got Mikey checked in. He's doing better. Says they might spring him so he can go back home very soon, and that would be a good thing. SWL 19 right there. Derby, New York. Chet is right out of sight with the cue cards and other things. He says, wouldn't you like to know? Well, I would. Okay. You've got some beverages. That's good because I'm going to need some. It's hot in here tonight. We're back up into the 100-degree weather. It's a nice day though. Wasn't too bad. Let's go over to SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Please check me in. 29 and 54 also.
Will do. They are coming up. And we will get them checked in as well. Sounding good, and glad you are in the air chair tonight. Before we go over to ORN, let me say hello to Foxman 362. Sound like a busy day today, but I know you had some skip going on. Zero precipitation, 69 degrees. Always nice there. And near Knoxville. Tower of Power made a contact yesterday in the live stream. All right. So, well, Dennis gets around. Not only can he go two-way wireless, he can go wired as well, depending on his antenna du jour. My Tombole, when it's tomorrow somewhere, that means it's yesterday here. Does that count as a deep thought? It counts as deep thought for OTR, because it's probably tomorrow when I see the replay of this. Who else? Frank D1 from Yellow Springs, Ohio. Thanks for joining us tonight. And Mark Sandquist is saying, yes, it is definitely deep thoughts. Let's not get too deep because you know what happens when it gets too deep. It turns into something else. 21, I'm going to click on that. I haven't even previewed it. We're just going to head over, and I hope I'm on the right page. We're bringing up the audio from... Yes, it is definitely... Old Radio Night. Yeah, they're listening in. Let me bring in some video from ORN. Yeah, he's getting there. He's getting there. Here comes the video, and we've got a couple people I need to check in. Here we go. This is live and direct from Old Radio Night. Coming up on the Galaxy Saturn Turbo. I'm listening. And we're going to get the double feedback.
SWL 21 checking in. Go ahead. Hey.
Bad man. He's got them lined up tonight. Are we on? Yeah, we're on. Who else? Somebody else was going to come in there, I know. We're listening to replay, not the replay, but the live.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, there you go, guys. Thanks. The old Radio Night, it's going on. Check them out. Like one of our stations, they've got on the left ear Old Radio Night and the right ear the Old Tube Radio Network. That would be confusing for sure. All right, back to Fresno, California.
We got to get earphones. All right,
this is the Basic Dennis. Over.
SWL 21 and everybody out there, we stand by.
Dennis?
This is the Basic Dennis. Over.
I forgot to say, proxy me in for next week. I'll be working, and probably the week after I have to make up some work. So the next 2 weeks, probably proxy me in. Okay, unless I can check in via Echolink. I might do that. I'm going to try that maybe. Okay, but plan to proxy me in.
All right, we will plan to do that. And the Echolink, we've got, who's up there? Tony's up. What is the link? 9.4. I guess the node never changes, but the link, the node is 94810, which you probably have in there. I think it shows up as the call, not under OTR. Okay, the pinging radio sounding good, and we've got the possible proxies ready to go, and you'll probably be one of the unknown SWL showing up on the DSWLs. Thanks, Harvey.
Okay, I think it looks like you're in right now. I'm looking at my Echo Link.
Yeah, it's in because Tony is wired up coming up here for SWL 100.
Well, in the old days, I used to be wired too, but never mind about that. Okay, I'll get back to you later.
Indeed. All right, direct net roll call is what we're doing. The old Tube Radio Network is what is happening, and radios will be glowing in the dark shortly. Page 1 looking for SWL 22. Haven't had Skip to Alaska in a long time. How about 23 Skidoo? The chasing after Espresso Trucking Company. We haven't heard them in a while. I don't know if we have. Chet is saying he doesn't think so, but you never know. You see the old Buick pull up and drip oil in the carport. We know we were in trouble. Let's go to SWL 24. Got checked in early. How about SWL 25?
Good evening, Dennis. 25, check it in.
25, you are sounding good. I don't know what radio you've got, but you've got it tweaked to perfection. Over.
Well, I'll just leave it alone. If it's not broke, don't touch it, right? Anyway, Dennis, yeah, appreciate the check-in, and might as well check in 74 too. Thank you, sir.
I will do that. Sounding good. Catch you on. I'm trying to get some 2-meter stuff back. It has been a long time since I want to reactivate the HawkNet or some other type of flying foul so we can keep track of what goes on around the skies around here. Sounding good. Thanks for checking in.
Oh yeah, the old HawkNet on 550. That was always something to look forward to. I think it was around lunchtime. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
I think it was whenever somebody got on the radio and looked up in the sky when they were supposed to be looking down the road. Sounding good. Thanks for checking in. I have got to find the right page. All right, 24, 25, 26. Let's go to SWL 27. Sometimes 27 gets the, I do have it. The crossband is up. SWL 28. Seeing what's in the menu at the green room tonight. I end up going to the little bistro, and of the OTR bistro, and having some type of salad with that purple lettuce in there, or whatever. I don't know what it was. It wasn't bad. It was just, it wasn't a an ice cream sandwich. That's kind of what I wanted, but I had a salad and some toast. 28 checking in. Oh, banana splits. Well, I was certainly in the wrong line. Banana splits and college football in the green room. The AC is on high. Yeah, that's why it's taking all the AC out of this room here. And where is 60? Is there a Bulldog football going on? Over?
Yeah, we're only down by 1 point. Yeah, Georgia Southern's got us 14-13 right now.
Okay, I forgot it's that football time of year where everybody is glued to the edge of their seats. Whether they're gorilla taped or Elmer's standard, they are glued to the edge of their seats. We'll see. And we're only down by 1. I guess that's good when we're only down by 1 after Kansas and whatever else is going on. All right, we'll get the updates as they happen. Thanks, Gary. Speaking of updates, thanks for the update, Gary. Let's go over to SWL. I didn't get you in 28. Now you're in. 29 is in. SWL 30. I'm looking to see. All right, and we're beaconing. We're traveling around the Earth and then back again. SWL 31, Robert and Teresa checked in moments ago over on the video side. Hope all is going well out there. Weather seems to be behaving. I noticed there could be some cold spell dropping down out of the Gulf Stream. We'll see what happens. 52 feels like 77 in Wilmington, North Carolina. LSU beats Clemson. Thank you, Bill, for that. JG Mopar DX76. Hello, radio to you. Over to SWL 72. I'm sorry, SWL 32. How'd I go that far? So what? SWL 33, that's me. I know I can check myself in. All right, we need, the table is not working here tonight. Neither is my computer. Right click on that, there it goes. SWL 34. I'm going to get Jimmy checked in. He jumped in last week. He will probably be by at some point when he gets done with all the fun things that he has to do. SWL 35 from beautiful Cheyenne, Wyoming. I was just a hop, skip, and a jump away. There he is. Bill checking in from cool Cheyenne. Gosh, we were in when Yellowstone. It was up to 80 degrees. That was kind of warm, but I think it's cooling off. Nighttime was down in the 30s, so it was definitely cool. Anyway, Bill, looking good, sounding good, and thanks for joining us. Hope we can hear you direct. We should have some skip coming in. Oh, yeah. I kind of like when I check in 33 and then someone hollers that 33 needs a proxy check in. I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, how's that supposed to work? SWL 36. That's Kenny, UDX 111. I've got you in. Over. About the heaviest foot switch I could get, and it still moves around. 37 checked in moments ago. Might be back in the movie room.
37.
Oh, he's back. He must have the food must be near the radio.
No, I seen what time it was. I just come in here real quick.
All right. You've got one of those OTR clocks. Those are few and far between. It lets you know when you're about to check in.
Yeah, the kibosh keeps honking at me.
Yeah, where is that proboscis? I don't know. It has been missing in action. I'm going to have to maybe scour the building, see where it's been hiding. That's if I don't at least get a honk or two once a month, things are bad. All right, you're still sounding good. I got you checked in.
Thank you, Dennis.
SWL. Okay, there's a red light. If I see the red light, he says, if you see the red light, you're on the air. I should know that already. SWL 38. Sam is listening. Still don't think we can get conditions. Even on a short hap, that's not going to work. But anyway, I got you checked in, Sam, from Byron over to SWL 39. Somebody said Proxy in 39. It's been a long time since Dr. Dan was pulling the needles out of the haystack out there. Let's go a little closer to home and get the latest e-bike adventure, SWL 40. Or maybe the e-bike adventure is happening as we speak. I'll get a proxy check in for Larry. I'll get a proxy check in for beaconing across the earth. SWL 401, SWL 41, which is 507. Of course, checking in, representing the Orange County React out of Hudson Valley, New York. And a good evening to you guys out there, and good morning pretty soon, actually. SWL 42.
Yeah, Proxy and 42 in the game.
All right, will do. 42. Mr. KW and the affiliated items. We'll do that. Let's go over to SWL 43. And Foxman says he bets UDX 390 is watching this show. Well, if he is, 390, we'll all wave to UDX 390 and say, thanks for watching. Like Uncle Sam, thanks. Where's the camera? Thanks for watching. Let's go to, and I heard this guy last night at the Ditchbanks sideband net. I don't think he can hear me around the corner on AM. We'll give it a try. SWL 44. Mr. 360. Ray, we got you checked in if you're listening. SWL 45, Paul and Kelly, we'll get you guys checked in, listening in from up on the hill. I don't know. The fires are going on, but I don't think they're in your area, and I haven't really checked how they're doing. I think the lightning up there is not as bad as it was a couple of days ago. And the smoke was, I could see the smoke this morning, but it seems like it was doing better. Out to Wisconsin and see if Arlen is listening. Now here's some skip coming. I can't really tell where it's from. We'll find out. SWL 47.
Well, good evening to all from the Lounge of Radios. This is SWL 47.
Lounging around the Lounge of Radios, you are sounding good tonight. And we will be checking in the radios in a little bit. If you are so inclined, there's room for you on the list.
Ooh, I'll accept that invitation. Thank you.
All right, thanks for listening. The Old Tube Radio Network is what you may be listening to or watching the video live if it were Saturday, August 30th, or in the future or past if it's sometime else. My name is Dennis, net controller of the Old Tube Radio Network, oldtuberadio.net, oldtuberadio.com, and everything else in between. Our purpose, of course, is to coax our very astute and avid Old Tube Radio collectors out at least once a week to the radio table to fire up the radios. We'll be doing that shortly, so stay tuned. SWL 48, Sam has been checked in.
SWL 48, check in again, Dennis.
Yeah, it's even louder. You must be cranking the generator up even more. You're up to 6.5 watts now. Sounding good, thanks.
I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I walked the beam around a little bit, so yeah, you're coming in good. Thank you.
Yeah, the Beeman, a focusing elemental device. Foxman 362 says it's a Hawaii skip. All right. You figured at this time it should be Hawaii skip. Let me go to the DX page. Do I have it up? I think I do. And see what it's showing. I can put it up on the screen here for the video people. There it is. There we are in the X. And there's Hawaii right in there. So, yeah, that's covered. Look at that. It's showing that we should have some conditions up to the Squamish, down to Arizona. That is interesting. But it's probably all low level. So be listening. Looks like we could have a good time tonight with some conditions. Back to the list. Let's go local again. SWL 49.
It's Proxy 49.
All right, we'll get that. That's sweet Smitty, Sweet Country Mama, 49er. Put the X in the square. How about SWL 50? All right, voice is way far away. Let's head out to Sangertown. Sounded good last night on the ditch banks. SWL 51. SWL 51. Let's try SW. Oh, hold on. If you're gonna call a station, they got to be able to hear you. SWL 51.
SWL 51 checking in.
Yeah, it helps. It helps when I am at the right power level. You are sounding good on AM tonight. Got you checked in.
10-4 Dennis. Have a good evening.
And then SWL 52.
I think we need to give him a proxy.
All right, I'll do that. I don't know if there's some contest going on tonight, and I remember that he was going to be doing some traveling, and you never know. He just might jump in on the crossband. Speaking of somebody needs a proxy, SWL 40.
Oh yeah, that's me, SWL 40. Hopefully I don't sound too bad. Checking in.
All right, I didn't know if you were on another e-bike adventure or whatever. Enjoyed the pictures, and I'm assuming you had enough pedal power or power to make it up and back from high atop Mount High atop there.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did carry a smaller extra battery with me just in case, but turns out I didn't need it.
Well, it's good to have it, and I don't know if you have the solar panel recharge, but it doesn't work real well when the sun goes down. So it looks like a pretty decent trip, and hopefully the traffic wasn't too bad. You're sounding good. We got you checked in.
All right. Yeah, I just ordered another solar panel, so I'll have 300 watts of recharge power on the road.
And that's a good thing. Let me go to the bottom of page 2 for SWL 53.
SWL 53, Dennis.
The legend sounded good. Thanks for being patient and hanging out with us here on a Saturday evening. The Old Tube Radio Network, X in the Square.
Thank you.
Next, and someone asking, do you have, Larry, that's a good question, Foxman. Are you radioactive on the e-bike?
Well, due to circumstances beyond my control, while I'm in motion, the e-bike produces large amounts of noise and can't hear anything. But I am trying to solve the problem.
All right, or you'll just have to do something where you can set up, you got enough battery power and a portable antenna, and you're going up the hills, you have a good shot, VHF locally, and who knows on HF. All right, well, they'll be looking for you on Boda, Bikes on the Air. I'm not sure what you would call that. All right, thanks for answering the query. We are going to SWL 54. I got a proxy for Mr. Windjammer up the hill to SWL 55. Looking to see that I've got everything here. Who is testing? Oh, it's 226 on standby somewhere. I see you, Jeff. 226. I don't. If you're trying to check in, I don't hear you. But Shockwave, we'll put. Let me jump up to our very final number here and put it up on the screen so you know that I have seen you waving. There you go. We called SWL 55. SWL 56 checked in moments ago, so let's go to SWL 57. Of course, from beautiful central Kentucky, SWL 58. I'll give Jeremy a proxy because I think Ron said that he had chatted with Jeremy earlier in the week on some mode, on some twisted pair mode or something like that. Let's go to SWL 59. Trying to keep track of all this. Hey, 6520, Big Rich. Glad to see you back, and likewise, hope all is going well and doing that happening thing and remembering the Saturday night place to be here on the Old Tube Radio Network, live and direct from the West Coast. They say that. No matter where you are in California, you're always on the coast of California, especially if you're running Skipland. Let's go to Joe, SWL 60.
Thank you much, Dennis. Doggone it, we're only down by one from Georgia Southern. We're only down by a point. Dennis, SWL 60, checking in and saying hello, everyone.
And hello, radio indeed. And what part of the game are we in at the moment? Over.
We're in the third quarter, playing Georgia Southern. We'll be playing Georgia State next week. In fact, the score's now changed, 21-14, Fresno State.
All right, go Dogs. And that is an away game?
It's right here in town.
Ooh, right here in town. Well, I should have I don't. We got the windows closed. They turned on the AC for once. Otherwise, we might hear the fireworks. Probably could hear them from here if I had the windows open. I'll have to get an outdoor microphonium. I'll have to get a remote microphone. People can drive by and say, "Hey, OTR!" And we can hear the fireworks going on. All right, thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
Oh, wait. Is Georgia State... don't go away, Joe. Are Georgia State the Bulldogs as well? Do we have a kind of a faux pas here? We got the Bulldogs against the Bulldogs?
Oh, you know what? No. No, they're... I don't recognize the bird that they are. I know when we played Kansas, that was the Jayhawks. These look like the Eagles.
Okay, some type of foul, some type of a birdie thing. Okay, and then, who was it, Foxman? Georgia State. All right, the big Georgia, the Bulldogs. That would be funny. The Bulldogs against the Bulldogs. You never know. All right, thanks, Joe. SWL 61. Dino made it in at the top of the program here, sounding good as always. Let's go to SWL 62. SWL 63. SWL 64, Craig checked in early at the top of the video before we even start. So I got him an X in the square. Who just jumped in? Somebody jumped in on the balcony. They're waving the flashlight at me. It is Schaumburg, Illinois, out in the 60193 area code. Hello to you. If you make your way down the stairs to the green room, there are, they say, ice cream sundaes, hot fudge sundaes, something going on down there. Everybody is welcome. Over to SWL 65. Yeah, it's here. They're saying, oh, that's a little patch of skip. We think it's coming from Hawaii, but I'm not sure. All right, message. Note to Skipland. This is the Old Tube Radio Network in Central California, streaming live at oldtuberadio.net. And were you to be on a glow-in-the-dark radio, we'd love to check it in. All right, yeah, I think it is Hawaii. Let's go over to SWL 66. All right, yeah, I think it is Hawaii. Let's go over to SWL 66.
All right, you're there, Dennis. SWL 66, checking in.
The Witch Doctor sounding good. Now, here's the guy that doesn't need a map to know where the skip is running. Flat side sounding good on the vertical here tonight. And good to have you back on an X in the square for 66. Hope you're having a great evening. Got an extra long weekend, I guess. And the skip is rolling in. If that's the thing you do, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir, Dennis. Everything's good over here. You stay safe, and everybody out there have a good Labor Day weekend coming up.
That is coming up sort of the last hurrah of summer, even though the official end of summer is the end of September. Everybody's back at school. The traffic is crazy in the mornings and the afternoons with the school back in. And watch out for those red light runners. SWL 67, let me see if Bill came in. I think he does. Usually he gets in early over to oldtuberadio.net where you can check in. I think you need a Facebook link up to do that. John, 15 minutes in counting. There's Bill, about an hour ago, checking in from Canby, Oregon. Where were we to have the short skip? I really think he'd be able to hear us tonight. So thank you, Bill. Over to SWL 68. Michael wanted an early check-in, which he got. Likewise for Mr. Kenny, SWL 69 out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, joined us at the top of the video side. Thank you, Kenny. If you're watching the replay or still listening, let's see if Mark is listening. SWL 70.
Right here, man. How's it going, Dennis? 7-0 checking in. Thank you very much for running this sucker.
Yeah, my pleasure. I've got to get, I don't know, I missed the barbecue at Ken's because I was out of the state. And so I have to get myself wound up for another I haven't been to a carpet meeting in a long time. I got to get myself wound up to these Friday meetings. I end up working late on Fridays. So much for that retirement thing. So we'll see. But anyway, it's good to hear you. Always a good signal in here. No skip tonight. And thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you. No skip yet. All right. Talk to you later.
Direct net roll call. We'll be checking in the radios. Get through here. I want to say hello to Stan, SWL71. He jumped in early tonight. Checking in from Dallas, Georgia. So thank you, Stan, for that. SWL72.
I haven't got an antique radio, but I can check in.
Yeah, you don't need an antique radio. Hello from the Old Tube Radio Network. We're in Central California. We're streaming live right now at oldtuberadio.net. Thanks for joining us over. And yeah, there's a link for YouTube, believe it or not.
All right, I'll check it out. I can hear you guys. You got the 175 Australia.
All right, 175 Australia. Usually the Friday night net gets all the Australia check-ins, but good afternoon to you guys. We're still trying to say bye-bye to Saturday evening here, and join us on the video or the live stream. Thanks. All right, well, that was the way to do it. Don't need an antique radio to say hello, radio. Proxy for SWL 73 for John. We got 74 checked in earlier. And let's see if 356 BYU SWL 75 is out there. Yeah, 175. He makes the rounds. See, now, Foxman, for us on the West Coast here to talk to Hawaii, Australia, it's good, but when you guys do it, way back there, that's like us trying to talk to Europe, England and things like that. It's just that extra double hop. So my hat is off to you guys for doing it. We can do it a lot here. Let's go to SWL 76. I think Red Fox 1 was in there, Johnson, Rhode Island. Boulder, Colorado, just joining us at oldtuberadio.net. Skip is still long, but if we're going to be jumping in, Boulder would be one of the places we can do it. Let's go closer to home, SWL 77.
77 checking in, and good to hear everybody out there. Hope everybody has a great holiday weekend and be safe. It's 73s.
All right, so far so good. Haven't managed to wreck it yet. I was just checking all my meters, making sure there's red lights that are good, and there's red lights that are bad, and there's a lot of them. So let me turn this one green. That means you're checked in, and thanks for joining us. Then we go over to Wild Wildemar. I don't think I've seen Richard in yet. I'm going to get him checked in because he will eventually come through. Speaking of check-ins, let's hop up to Neil, 147 out of Kakalaki, since he is listening in. Lots of action this afternoon till 8 or 9 p.m. Shifts around a lot. That's the same thing here. It was hour 5 o'clock when the band just went dead, but as you just heard moments ago, we're getting a little bit of probably gray line from the Pacific. Just checked in 175 out of Australia, sounding pretty decent tonight. Early autumn weather is nice, and it's going to be getting a little colder and crisper according to the weather person. Thanks, Neil, for checking in. SWL 79, are you still out there, Philip? Well, I checked him in twice during the skip when he was doing a good job, so he is checked in. SWL 80. And I am turning the page. Oh, I forgot to show, and I don't know if he's watching, I forgot to mention when JT was on, the mysterious mailbag here of the interesting little logos. You can't really see it because it's dark for the there it is. For the old tube, let me hold it like a true television guy. The old tube radio network with the magic eye, the ever popular magic eye that one might notice or see or hear tonight, but there are many of those. So thanks to the anonymous but great masked printer that sent those in to the old tube radio network to distribute, to throw around. We're pinning them on people as they walk in the door tonight. You get through the roll call here so we can check in some stations. SWL 81, SWL 82.
Well, good evening. 82 checking in from the Ditch Banks of Iowa on the AM side. We get to hear the AM side and the AM tube radios tonight.
It is, and I'm wandering in your footsteps. Did you hear Australia pop in there, almost like they were hearing me?
I did hear that. Yeah, that was something else. They come right in there, and I think I heard a little bit of the mini grass coming in there too. So, yeah, how about that?
You just never know. Well, if you want to hear more Australia when the conditions are in, and another net where you can dress down. You don't need one of your sidebands. You can get rid of your upper sideband, and you can just throw caution to the wind and just strip off your AM carrier and join Ron and the gang on Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific time on 36 lower. That's 27,365 for the Ditch Banks sideband net. A good time is had by all. Thanks, Ron.
All righty, Dennis. Have a good week.
Yeah, I love the decals. I thought maybe he was going to send in one of those ink tattoo kits, but I like the decals better. All right, they're waving at me. Who just jumped in? 007 Extreme CB. Hello, Frank, joining us. Remember to check in, and the check is in the mail. Do we still have it? Hold on. It's here. We were using it. They were using it tonight. The umbrella. The pool umbrella broke, so they pulled out the extremecb.com larger than life t-shirt. Yeah. And we strung it over the we strung it over the umbrella. It worked nice tonight. So thanks, Frank. You're keeping us cool out here. They're telling me that I shouldn't move. Every time I move in the chair, they have to rearrange everything. Sorry about that. Let's go to SWL 83. SWL 84. We'll get Jerry and Mountain Maid and Tandy Girl and Snowy Owl. That's 84, 86, 87, and 88 all checked in, taking us to SWL 89. SWL 90. SWL 91. I didn't see Felix earlier, or did I? I don't know. I will check. When I move, we're using a little card table. What is it, TV tray? I don't know. I don't even have a desk. And when you move around, everything just kind of messes up. Let's go to SWL 92. And Charlie is saying, it's not about you. No, it isn't. It's about the tube radios, and we will be checking them in shortly. SWL 93. Somebody said give Leo a check-in if he doesn't stop by, so we'll give him a proxy. SWL 95. SWL 96, Kurt out in Kokomo. I wonder what his rig of the day is. It had the, what do you have, the ICOM? No, it was the Tentec, but there was something else on that. SWL 97. I saw Jim up on the ORN wheel spinning around, but I don't know if he made it. I'm thinking he probably got bumped off the wheel, but if you're out there, Jim will get you checked in. SWL 98, I would get Tracy checked in from the Central Valley, Central Valley CB Ditch Banks. You know, I'm going to blow this. I'm going to say it wrong, but the Facebook name has been slightly altered. There's a Ditch Banks in there somewhere, but Tracy, it can usually be seen or heard hanging around those parts, so Tracy, we got you checked in. SWL 99. Haven't checked him with Randy in a while on 75 meters, and I will have to do that. Let's go to the ever-popular Echolink link, and we'll look for Tony, KD4BAO from KB6GFD, over. And we'll see what Tony is up to up in South, or down in South Carolina. There is that.
Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you. Back to net control.
And it is good to be heard. Got you checked in. Tony will be officially starting our tubes on the air in moments. Good to have you back on the old Tube Radio Network. Thanks. 73. KB6 GFD. Over to SWL 102, who has been waiting at the gate to get that check-in. It's better to be, in the house, behind the house, but not under the house. Bill's saying point the beams over the north, and you can hit Poland, Sweden, or Finland on the, is that the short hop or the long hop if I go, 30 degrees? I used to have the big circle map with my area in the center. And back in the day when I actually had a nice beam, that was one of the, short path, long path. Listen to the flutter, listen to the backscatter, and figure it out. That's the nice thing about when you're doing skip like that, is there's some, there's some thought you got to put to it. Which way should I go? Where's the path coming in? What's the best time to actually hang out to get something before everybody? It's like shopping, When can you get through the door before the crowd is in with all the coupons? And maybe there's a great place to park at the back that nobody knows. That's DX is sort of like that. If you're sneaky, if you're smart, you can get in and do stuff. Sometimes it's just the luck of the draw too. So that's a fun part of radio. Let's go over to SWL 103. Joey, right there. Saying 73 and waving from South Carolina. Let me get you officially with an X in the square. I was looking on the big board here because I know sometimes you jump in there as well, but I'm not getting updated like I should. Thanks. Thanks, Joey. Over to SWL 109. Mr. Crawdad, over.
Good evening, Dennis. Crawdad 109 checking in.
All right, sounding good through all the noise. There's not that much noise tonight, but you're sounding good. I'm poking along. I finally make it up the hill. Crawdad's like, he's coming. I can see him coming up the trail. All right, you're sounding good. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dennis, and it sure is awful quiet tonight, and you're sure sounding good.
Yeah, we have that little jump in from Australia. It's like there's one person that happened to turn the radio on and said, oh, look at that. There's Skip coming in. All right, nice stuff, and we'll, I think we're going to get some of the short Skip coming in too, so that should be fun. But perfect timing for your check-in. Thanks. Shortwave listener 110. SWL 111. Robert checked in early tonight, and we heard him direct through the Skip, believe it or not. SWL 113. SWL 114.
114 checking in.
Okay, Wayne, thanks. Heard you last night on the Ditch Banks sideband net sounding good, and likewise here tonight on OTR. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the flowers and thank you for the check-in.
Yeah, there's got to be some award for consistency, I guess, too. When you sound good no matter what mode you're in, and you do it quite often. Let's go to SWL 128. John is checking in early. He's got a early day tomorrow, not staying up late. Catch everyone next Saturday. So if you're watching the replay, there it is. 128 is checked in, and thanks for stopping by the old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 131. SWL 133. SWL 135.
Hello there. Yes, SWL 135 checking in. And what was that?
I think it was a coyote.
Some strange prairie creature for sure. I'll be back later to check this one in.
Good deal. It's sounding good, and I always like the little teaser of the Tube Radio coming up, OTR. Rosie, Victor Kilo 4, hello to you. Good day and good evening here from the States. I want to also say hello. Oh, Mr. Nobody is ready and waiting for that one little thing to happen. Now, you'll hear San Diego probably before us, or the Bay Area, but keep tuned in. Something's going to happen. The air is charged. I will, let me take one more little moment. I will bring up the DX map, see if I can get a, let's see, I need this. There it is. It's on the wrong, for some reason, it's not showing me 10 meters. It should be the orange thing. If I recalibrate it, there we go. I see nothing. It's not, they're showing south, like San Diego. Pacific is still in, but we look at that. That is nothing throughout the U.S., so we'll keep our fingers crossed. All right, let's go on to SWL 137. And up to SWL, oh, that's the wrong picture, SWL 145. 145 is Tony up in Course Gold. He does the Friday night net, and he is often gracious enough to drop us some questions from the Friday night net, which he has done tonight. So we'll take a moment here to quickly take a look at them. Here we go. In a typical SWR or watt meter, in a typical SWR or watt meter, what current type samples the high power transmitter RF and brings it to a low enough level to drive its milliamp meter? Boy, I'm not even reading that question right. So in a typical SWR watt meter, what circuit, I said current, what, that's far away. What circuit type sample, okay, what circuit we're looking for? Okay, here we go. What circuit type samples the high power transmitter RF and brings it to a low enough level to drive the milliamp meter? All right, that makes sense. Because you're broadcasting, your 5 watt DC input or not, and you've got this oh, don't hurt me little meter in there. Don't shower me with 5 watts of RF. So what is it that they do? What's the interim little thing that helps that out? So is it an induction sampler? Is it a rotational sensing ring? That sounds like fun. Is it a non-directional sampling tube, or is it a directional coupler? So this is that thing in your watt meter or your SWR meter. Induction sampler, rotational sensor ring, non-directional sampling tube, or a directional coupler. Anybody want to guess? I know what I think it should be, because it would be like an induction sampler or a directional coupler. But a directional coupler, and see, that's the key, the directional. Are you forward or are you reverse? Are you looking at, what's coming out and what's coming back? That's why in the Bird watt meter they've got those little directional coupler, a Rob, directional coupler, cheers, Roy, and that's what I say, and the answer is D, a directional coupler. All right. And one more item of interest here. Question 2. There's no multiple choice on this. What was, not is, I guess, what was a tickler? Tickler. So what, and I'm sure we're talking about it. Please tell me we're talking about radio circuitry, RF radio stuff here, because there could be many answers for this on another net. What was a tickler? And the answer is it's a type of coil used in early regenerative radio receivers. All right, little tickler coil. What's the cat's whisker? Is that what they're talking about when you used to build those Boy Scout radios? And it was a coil, though, and regenerative radio receivers. Anyway, that's a tickler. So if somebody says your tickler has gone bad, don't take offense. Just pop in the earphones and say, no wonder I can't get that 50,000 watt station anymore, because my tickler has got a problem. Back to the directed net. We went to Tony. We went to Neil. Let's see if Bobby is still there. SWL 188. He was in earlier, so let me check in. Bobby 188. Also 195, Jim in Course Gold. If you're still there, we've got you checked in once again. All right, sounding good still. And then 226, Jeff Shockwave checked in at oldtuberadio.net. Anybody else that I might have missed, OTR listening? And thank you, Rob. Yeah, a cat's whisker is a diode. That's right, because if you're making the crystal radios, we used to use a germanium diode. This little germanium diode, and basically you did the little high ohmage headphoniums, earplugs, and you were good to go. So the cat's whisker is the replacement for that germanium diode. So not a tickler. I don't know. Add a tickler to your to your crystal radio, and you will have even more fun. Okay, I am going to jump out of here for a second, change a bunch of wires, and then we will be back to talk about and to talk with your tube radios on the old Tube Radio Network. Back in a moment. Thank you. One more. And then Stan Freeberg said,
Find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
all right, that's some fancy 125% asymmetrical audio as we're looking at the REA percentage modulation here on AM. A lot of the radios we'll be talking with tonight running plate modulated, very nice high level and perhaps low level AM as well. We were talking to them here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Back to the control room where, let's bring up that shot right there. Oh, now there is somebody that's raining on our parade. All right, we're trying to do radios, but we haven't started, so it's officially an SWL check-in. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Roger, SWL 52 from the radio closet.
All right. The radio closet is probably a good place to be. We've got 52X in the square. We are about ready to jump in for some tube radios, and hopefully your excursions from far out were great, and welcome back to Fresno.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Las Vegas is indeed still there, and I still don't like being stuck there for a week. We'll catch you later.
All right, 73, KB6GFD.
K6UFY 55.
Checked in 52. Let's make that official, and making it official now. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. We're listening for any and all radio check-ins over.
135, 135. 14.
This is. I already know this is going to be a good evening because we've got not only some great radios coming up, but some extras that go with them, I think, and are sort of kind of in the same vein of how do we let the listener, our other Unit 2, know that we're on the air and maybe calling them. Sean, stand by, jump into the green room. The light will flash when it is your turn. We'll be back to you in a moment. And heading up to the air chair right now is Cliff, Mr. Green Arrow, who is about to tell us what it is that is on the radio desk. Over.
Yes. It's more like the wooden radio picnic table out here in the CB Cabana. This radio here, just like last week, is from Brooklyn, New York. This is the Sonar Model H. H is in hotel. I figure I checked this one in since last week I checked in the E. This one has 9 tubes. And let's see, is it 8 or 9? Technically, it's 9 channels. There are 8 crystal-controlled transmit and receive channels. No VFO on this one. And also there is an external, 2 external sockets on the lower right front, if you've got a picture of it. One for transmit crystal and one for a receive crystal. As I say, there's no VFO for listening. So yeah, they gave you a. I think it may be the only radio I've got that has sockets for both transmit on and receive on the front. Back to you.
And I'm not sure, did we point that out before? We're looking at the radio here right now, and it is, I believe it is from your collection, by the way. It's got the Sonar speaker right next to it, and they're indeed, and they've got the little, it's not an arrow, but little pointer saying when you go to number 8 position, there's a possibility that you could be over here with the crystal sockets doing what you need to do. And I guess it figured out how to make both transmit and receive working. The Model H, a little bit, I guess it's a little bit modern, more modern looking than the one of last week, at least for the knobs, but not sure internally what they change. Certainly has good audio. We see the, we used to call it the piece of toast, the Sonar microphonium with that super big element. That's why you sound so good over.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Can't wait to hear the replay. Like I say, I don't check these in enough. They're reasonably reliable, decent sounding radios, but they do run a little on the warm side. So yeah, I guess it's 8 channels altogether because yeah, that last one says EXT, that's the external, so that's the 8th channel. And yeah, I'm on the, oh, that's right, I must point out, that is not mine, that's Harvey's. He has the cool external speaker, which I am, you know, very, very jealous of. It's a beautiful little speaker. But I have the model SC3, and SC stands for Sonar Call, attached to this particular unit at this particular time. Yeah, the microphone is the original type. It is decently large, fits very nicely in the hand as opposed to some of the teeny ones. And the Sonar Call goes a little something like this. Oh, I can't hear it, of course. I don't hear anything. Oh. It's a very strong spring-loaded switch that I have to throw in order to make that happen. Did you hear it?
I heard it just fine. That's interesting. It says we should have an image of that. When I bring it up, I'm just getting a blank screen. And it sounds like a phone patch, like you go to an old-style dial tone. I don't know if you can hear that or not, over.
Unfortunately, like with a lot of the other calling unit kind of things, I can't actually hear it unless I turn on another radio and listen in. So that's why I was just kind of guessing at how long the trail takes. But yeah, to me it kind of sounds more like it's a 2-tone bong, and it does have a volume control on it. But I found out all that does is actually turn up my audio volume. It doesn't have anything to do with the Sonar Call at all.
All right, I finagled the picture in there. So it's got the Sonar World Globe logo, and there's your switch. Standby, normal, and call, and then the volume. So go ahead and do again what you did, and then now that we're looking at the unit, if we're watching, anybody watching the video, we've got the SC3 unit up there. You can do it and then tell us exactly what you did. We're looking at it.
Okay, oops. Hold on. Turned on a little walkie-talkie so I could hear something, and it started feeding back. This is not a Browning. Okay, what I'm about to do is that little lever there, I'm going to push it down. It is spring-loaded. You can click it to lock into the standby mode. You know, when you throw it up, it clicks and locks into that position. But the actual call, like this, is spring-loaded. Oh, yeah, it seems to be working. I was listening to it on the walkie-talkie. It's kind of cool.
Nice. So when you're doing that, does it key the radio, or do you need to keep the radio keyed and then flip the switch?
Yes. in short. I can do either. So I was doing it now while I was keyed up with the microphone, and I can actually talk at the same time. But I discovered many moons ago, I can actually just unkey the radio, and that call will key up the radio and send the noise. Let me demonstrate that. I will unkey the microphone and just use the sonar call. That was just with the sonar call, no mic.
Yes, and I can tell when the radio unkeys, obviously the signal goes down, but you hear the relays cut out. Somebody said, Dallas said, it sounds like the Looney Tunes cartoon sound effect. I know exactly which one he's talking about. It reminds me of an old dial tone. I wonder if they got sort of the tones from that. There's a call light. I'm assuming that must illuminate possibly momentarily when it's doing its thing. And a volume control would be for the incoming volume, over?
Yes. It doesn't affect the outgoing signal at all. It does affect the volume and loudness of your received signal, which might help in the unit, detecting the right tones or something. Still haven't had a successful test with that. But Harvey played with it, and we did get the call light to light. So at least we know that the light works. You just haven't been able to get tones and stuff lined up to where it works.
Interesting. All right, and this is connected to your Sonar Model H, and I'll bring that back up into the queue again here, and there it is. My guess is it might have worked with some of the other sonars, and you probably mentioned to plug into the sonar, there must be some receptacle in the back of the radio, over?
Yes, sir. There is an octal jack, and this thing has hardwired into it a set of wires with an octal plug that plugs into the back, and it says right back there, sonar call. And yeah, the Model E has that as well, and I think the Model G does, but I don't know about the Fun Service sonars.
Yeah, those were a little bit later, and it's hard to say. So we're mid-60s. We'll do a little brief history here, and then I know Sean is coming up with a radio that's going to be similar, with a similar device, but there's a big difference, and we'll talk about that a little bit now. Your Sonar radio all by itself, the SC3, an add-on device that plugs into the radio. It is not built into the radio at all. The original, issue from the FCC for Class D 11 meters was you had a base, you licensed the radio, and then you had auxiliary stations, base, mobile 1, mobile 2, and you would say KEO 8492 base to unit 1, and your unit 1 would come in and talk back to you, say, yeah, I'm out here, we're mowing the back 40, and that's sort of what they thought citizen band would be, not idle chit-chat or hobby communications, because that was ham radio. And so the makers would come out, well, you're going to be sitting out in the truck. How do you know when the base wants to call you? You don't want to be listening to all that static, so you could turn your squelch up, and at some point you would hear you'd be out of the truck and you'd hear that noise, you'd hear that sound that would cue you that your base is calling you or whatever. That's sort of the theorem behind all of this, were it to be a perfect world according to the FCC. So the unit, you buy the call, it plugs in, it's a separate thing, it makes the noise, it alerts somebody, and then you have your conversation. So a good demonstration. It sounds great. It's amazing that after all these years, the springs and levers and everything are working and not just flying away.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you can find out when this was made. I'm not certain, but I think it may have been the last in this series. but that's only by virtue of the letters. You know, you got E and G and H. So this may have come after the others, but it has fewer goodies on it than the others. Maybe sometime you could also talk about, or get Harvey to tell us, or somebody who knows about the generals, and you know, the MC5. Was there some sort of receiving unit that you know, oscillator triggered, or were you just supposed to listen for the noise? There's all sorts of these weird units, huh? Yeah, I think Johnson had one. I know Polycom had the Polycall. There were a lot of noise-making units out there that were supposed to have this function, and I'm not sure how it all was supposed to work out. But thanks for letting me check it in, and we'll see you next time. I'll be listening.
Yeah, cool sonar stuff. This is the early to mid 60s, before they're spending a little bit more money and putting all 23 crystal controlled channels in there. The S meter was an option on this radio, so it kept the price down, but still very well built. You can hear the audio is great, good talker. I thought I had a tube complement, but I do not. And some of the companies had the external items of interest to help you, keep the radio down and make a call. It wasn't quite what CTCSS or tone encode or decode, but it was an early version of that. And I suppose if you actually were using the radios as they intended, it might have been a good thing. Great. Sonar Model H for radio number 1, sounding good. And I'm going to make this segue here. We're going to go out to Sangertown. And Sean, if you're listening, you've got a similar device on that radio, but there's one big difference, and we'll talk about that. And it also promoted the FCC to take action, and maybe that is why this version of the Sonar is an external box rather than something built in. So thank you, Cliff. And hello, Sangertown, 14 over.
Yeah, hello, Dennis. Checking in tonight, obviously, on my new-to-me General Radio Telephone Company. It says MC5. And yeah, every time I press that button, I get a very big smile on my face. It feels so wrong, but yet so right. So I'm really enjoying the tone alert.
I will jump into the Rolodex. We will pull up an MC5. I have, and this is from Paul's collection, I believe. Let me click on the picture. We have a couple of them. Let's see which is going to be the best one to show here. Okay, that is the advertisement. Is there another one? We'll go back to the go back to the radio. I'll put it on the full screen here. And yet again, we have an early 60s radio. It's got the tunable receive, which the Sonar didn't have, but it is a 5-channel radio, so crystal controlled. And if we go into the center of the radio, the tone signal, there's a switch right there on the radio. And I think that is what you are working over.
Yeah, that is what I was working. And if you can find one that has gold-plated rack handles, that would be the most accurate picture of this radio. I don't know if maybe it was somebody that worked there that had them done, or somebody did a long time ago, but they do have some patina to them. So it looks really sharp there with the gold handles. And I do have the case off of it, and the tone alert is really cool. It has some neon lights underneath it, and one of them blinks as it's making that tone alert there. And quite an interesting radio. It's I believe the first of this series in this case. So the MC5 would be the first, and then the 12 would be the last.
And it sounds great. Before we talk about the tone signal, I just want to talk about the radio itself, because it's really loud. and I brought in the S meter. I've got a lot of attenuation on the signal tonight, so my noise level is basically 0. And you're about an S3, so don't fret, because my noise level is very attenuated. But man, does it sound like you're 20 over with the audio. So be curious to know what microphone you're using with the MC5 tonight. Over.
Yeah, I will add that I am super impressed with the audio. When I checked in, I was blown away. And when I first was fooling with it earlier today, Dave even got back to me and he said, man, that sounds really good. What is it? And it's a D104 amplified desk mic. And it's a black bass with a chrome push-to-talk and chrome center. My favorite D104 microphone. I use it on a lot of these radios, and I am impressed with this General Radio telephone.
Yeah, good audio. It rivals the Super MC series, which had some different tubes and a different modulator tube, I believe. It's got the 23-channel receive and the tone signal. Now, this tone signal is built in. Let's go to back to the tone signal. Now, but I want to get that out of the way, how good that sounds. You'll hear the replay, and I specifically wanted to put that as a joke, your S3 signal. It sounds like 20 over, but that's the audio. That's a nice thing about plate modulated AM, that a lot of times I don't see you on the meter, but I hear you just fine, and that's the thing. It doesn't matter. What am I hitting you with? It doesn't matter. Can I hear you? We're doing good. Tone signal. All right. The default position appears to be up, at least in this picture. So to make the tone signal happen, and you'll do that in the next transmission, and we'll hear the General Radio telephone version of I'm calling you, as opposed to what we heard with Sonar. I'm assuming you press it down. If it's locked to talk, spring activated, we'll go back to you and find out. Over.
So it is spring activated, and I can press it either keyed up or not keyed up, just like Cliff's radio. And I will add, I could hear Cliff out here in Sanger tonight. He sounded really good. And I'm going to activate it now. So that is my tone signal. And when you let off of it, just snaps back up, and I can hear it. Now, I don't know, that's not because I have 10 vacuum tubes it's going into, that I can hear it, when it drives through all that stuff, but I do hear it in the background in my equation here.
And I do recall other operators of that, and the tone, the oscillation, the frequency oscillation, the tone can be quite different depending on how it's adjusted. You mentioned there's some neon bulb that plays in with all of that. Yours is more of the typical, I remember. They used to call it the Q bird or the Tweety bird, and the oscillation is pretty fast at a high pitch. Now, let me see if I can bring in the bad news. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, here comes the orchestra. 1962, late 62, 63. This is a flagship model for General Radio telephone. It's selling at about $200. The MC5, probably the most advertised General Radio telephone CB. And that is true. If you can find an old CB magazine that's 1962 or 63 vintage, you will see probably half-page ads for this very radio. The MC5 was much like the MC4, but had a stronger transmitter. And this was the last General that had the tone signal. Thanks to the FCC, it was replaced with a bullhorn on the MC6. The MC5 had a real nice ceramic chrome-plated electro-voice microphone, which probably sounds good, maybe not as good as the D104. And it runs 6-volt DC, 12-volt DC, or 115-volt AC, depending on the plug configuration out of the back. But I believe and if you were back listening in the 60s like I was, a lot of times people would use that tone signals for malcontent, is that the word, for mischievous transmissions, more like a jamming signal. And the fact that it was built into the radio and that you could sort of lock the thing on somehow, I think they really didn't like that. So from then on, the General Radio telephones didn't have the tone signal built in, and from then on, any radio that did have some type of a tone call, it was an external device. It was not built into the radio, and I really think that's the FCC's little rule, like, well, we don't want noisemakers built into the radio under the guise of a tone signal or whatever it is, and so you had to put it outside. But it was still legal that way, just can't build it into the radio. But it's sounding good. Back to you.
Yeah, and thanks to Harvey, he came over today around 11:30, and I think we got it fixed around 3. And he also made me a really nice cord because it has a PJ068, a microphone plug. Use these, like I said, my favorite microphone. So I'm going to warm up another one, and appreciate the time tonight for this MC5.
MC5, the Master Control 5. At that time, their mobile version of the radio was called the VS, the Vibration Service. And again, as per the FCC, you would buy the base station, the MC5, you'd get your license for the radio, and then you would add these separate units, maybe the VS2 or the VS4, and you'd be talking base to mobile. And as the mobile was out in the field or doing something with the squelch turned up, you would put the tone signal, and that would alert your station to pick up the microphonium, turn up the volume, and have the conversation. Thanks for radio number 2, the old Tube Radio Network. Real radio's glowing in the dark, and sometimes, as the jingle singers note, it is the favorite place to be.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. Your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are listening for radio number 3. And perhaps an update on the Bulldogs. And maybe some skip conditions. Hey, Joe, was there a break in the action, or are we all done?
There was a little bit of a break there. Update on the Bulldogs is we're walking away with it, 42-14. I'm sure all the fans are excited. They're probably getting ready to light up the old fireworks. Dennis, I'd like to check in my 223 Johnson.
Okay, I don't think there's no tone call built in. Johnson may have had an external unit for that, and we'll put that on the list of things to find for you, so you can join in the tone. But a simple break OTR does it for me. That gets my attention. Over.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I remember back in the day there when I was running the old solid state, I got a kick out of the noise toys. Everybody was putting them in, and in certain type radios. I didn't realize, I didn't have any idea that a lot of those were built into the radio. I just knew they were annoying and they were doing their job. No noise toys on this one. This one you might have found on maybe back in the garage on a desk. Little radio there just to inform maybe their taxi drivers or something like that. You got to give them a shout, holler to them, and have them come back to you.
Indeed, and I'm going to make sure I brought the right item. That is the 223. Over.
Yeah, 223. The Johnson Messenger 223 in Kersu writing.
Yeah, like a fancy address. The Messenger 223, the culmination we talked about before, the Viking white face and the black face. All the updates in the same box, put in the S meter, and that is your flagship base radio and the last non-solid state radio for the E.F. Johnson Company. By this time, 1968, 69, 70, they're already producing a lot of this very small, compact, solid state mobile radios to go along with this. But for a workhorse and getting everything you need, the S meter and 23 channels all built in, you can't beat it. And built quite well, good components, tried and true, and like I said, from 1970 to 2025, sounding good. Over.
Most definitely, they're done it. Doggone it, 10 glowing tubes, all 23 channels, perfect meter, good size speaker, 4x4 maybe, and a well-lit radio from left to right, I should say, from the meter to the channel changer. Couple of knobs, on and off, your volume and your squelch. Nothing fancy, nothing in the back. Hardwired, AC cord into it. Couldn't go mobile with this one.
No, indeed you could not. It was definitely a base radio. If you wanted the mobile, you had to go and buy the 123. I think there was a 220 or 323. You had to buy the mobile radio for Johnson. Do you have the Johnson desk mic, or what are you using?
This is the Johnson original desk mic, stock. You kind of got to get on it. There's no power to this one, and no switches to pull, none to move. Just get up on it and talk into it. Same color as the radio. Says Johnson on the key down, and has the old Egner there on the speaker. You can't go wrong with it.
Absolutely. If you can find them today, there's a good starter radio. The E.F. Johnson microphonium is not amplified. I'm just, how far away are you from the microphone?
Oh, I'm about a foot.
Okay, just for kicks, and I'm looking at, in fact, let me bring up the REA meter here. We'll go to that, and then we'll see what happens. So next transmission, when you start, stay your foot away, and then I want, if you can, if it's available, to pick up the microphone or what, and get closer, maybe to about 3 or 4 inches away. And I want to see what the difference is on the audio. Over.
Right now we're about a foot away, and it's almost you have to run this one like a handheld stock mic. Now we're going to get up on it and talk into it just like a stock mic.
Yeah, and it comes up. So were the channel to be noisy, that is indeed probably how you would have to run the microphonium. Like I said, we got a nice, smooth sailing channel tonight, so don't have to worry about that. But definitely sounds better, closer up a little bit. Over.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And doggone it, we thought about putting a power mic on it, but this radio was designed for this one. This microphone, I should say, was designed for this radio. And they go well together, they look good together, and I think we'll keep it that way.
Indeed. When one of our listeners, 43, mentioning they had the 250, which I think was sort of an anniversary version of that, possibly, and I can't remember if it had gold on it, and I think it was solid state, but that got him back into radio. I would imagine that the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223 probably got a lot of people into radio, probably the first set they had, or that was the upgrade from whatever they might have had. Once you got that radio, you really didn't need to go higher or better, although you might have aspired to a Tram or a Browning back in the day, back in 68 or 69, the Mark II, or the Tram Titan 3 or whatever. But this one at, $200, $215 with the microphone was probably a best buy, and even if you knocked it off the table, it would probably still work. Radio number 3 from E.F. Johnson. Is that Waseca, Minnesota? I think somewhere out there. Sounding good tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for bringing it by.
Oh, thank you much, sir, Dennis. When you say $200, back in the day, back in about the early 70s, I bought a '59 Chevrolet for $225 in the parking lot, off a car lot. And that was something. A guy would pay $200 for this, or maybe a '59 Chevrolet. Something to drive around with. That was something. Okay, Dennis, I'll get on another one.
You've never had to change the oil on the Messenger, and you never call the insurance agent to check your deductible, and it still works. Now, the car might be worth a little bit more today, but that's after you put a lot of money in it because it was probably rusting out. Not so with the radio. Thanks. And you could be listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Listening for radio number 4 or any and all check-ins?
14.
And 14 is back. We have great conditions between us tonight. No problem. Let's see. I'll clear out the E.F. Johnson and we'll create space for whatever it is that you have. That sounds good. Go ahead.
Okay, well, this one is the Super MC12 general radio telephone. And so I went from my gold-plated rack handles to my super fat rack handles on my Super MC12. And this one is on a gray bass D104 unamplified desk mic.
Nice. All right. Well, that was weird. The photo came up and then it went away. This is definitely got a little bit mellower audio, but it's good fidelity. This has some nice low frequencies in it as well. Over.
Yeah, I think it's not as good as the last general, but I'm going to find out. But yeah, this one's just kind of an odd radio. You don't see very often. Mine has a fan added to the top of it with like a barrel switch to turn it on and off. You don't want to stick your fingers in it because it has an aluminum blade. And besides that, it's in really good condition and all stock radio.
And it is significant because it is the last of the general radio telephones, basically, and indeed, we'll read about it. It may not even have been fully constructed by general radio telephone. Before I go, we got a great picture. I think this is one of Paul's radios, and you may have them both there. The rack handles on this 12 look bigger and beefier than they do on the 5.
Yeah, these are real rack handles. They're every bit as big as like the DAC, whereas the other MC radios have spaghetti, like the thick spaghetti. These are real big. They're 7/16. They're a solid 3/8 for sure. But other than that, they do look really similar. Same case and all that for a long run. So. Like you said, this is the last of it. And this particular radio, the meter lights both work flawlessly, other than the MC5 that I was on there, dim like cigarette butts. But this radio is functioning really well this evening.
And if you told me I didn't write it down, what is the microphone you're using with that?
It is the unamplified gray bass D104.
Should be a good choice for that. The Super MC series always sounded really good just with the stock microphone supplied, so typically over-amplifying things could get you into trouble. I think I found what I was looking for on the radio. Anyway, take another transmission. I got the meter up. I want to see if your signal's about the same on from the 5.
Okay, yeah, so... And the other thing, obviously, you have a crystal controlled everything with a small, fine tune underneath the meter. Big difference on this one. A much finer receive, obviously. But I had no problems hearing you tonight on either of these units. And I will say the speaker on the Super MC12 sounds a lot better than the MC5. It has more of a muffled tone, and I did look in there. The paper is in good shape, so this just has a better quality on the receive sound.
Very good. Yeah, about maybe half an S unit, maybe a full S unit lower. So that's like 5 dB on the signal. Audio isn't quite as loud, but it's nice, and I see a little bit of forward movement where I wasn't seeing that on the MC5. I wonder if that one is MC5 is strapped a little bit more for signal than for mod. Hard to say, but still looks good. All right, here's what I found out: the Super MC12. The Super MC12 was very much like the Super MC11A. That's the talker. That's the one to beat. That's been checking in forever here on OTR. General Radio Telephone was sold to Skyhawk Antenna Company in 1972. They upgraded the MC12 with a much larger and powerful final audio tube. The MC12 was not able to be type accepted by the FCC, so there probably weren't a lot of them sold. So that in itself makes it a rare radio. This was the last General Radio Telephone CB manufactured, so kind of a handshake between Skyhawk Antenna Company and the last hurrah for the people over at General Radio Telephone. And we had some letters that they would be on a kitchen table, the engineers pulling these radios apart and swapping out pieces and parts, trying to figure out what, like they find, this tube works better, but when we put this in, we got to change this part. And this was the culmination of that. But remember, it's 1972. The economy is changing. They got out. This is, they just couldn't wait another year, because that's when really CB radio took off. But unfortunately, at that time, it was kind of leaving the tube radio guys behind and going solid state. And so maybe if they could have jumped into something like that, they could have stuck around. But you never know. The radios they produced might not have been as good as quality as we have with throughout the 60s with the MC series and the VS series. So good stuff. GRT, General Radio Telephone, no tone call, but it's got every other modification you can put in them.
Yeah, that it does, and it's kind of interesting to see. Like I didn't realize that the MC5 was a 62, 63, so that's 10 years, and you can really see all the modifications and how they had to change things around to make more room with the crystals, and a lot of changes. You pull these out, one looks simple, the other one looks like a spaghetti mess on the bottom. So anyhow, thanks for the time for the Super MC12 tonight.
Yeah, back in the days of, what do they call it, point-to-point wiring, and then getting the circuit boards, that's what some of the later radios had problems with heating up the boards and the transformers and the heat, where the point-to-point wiring in the tubes, they really like the heat, and the radios were big enough to dissipate it. They call it convection cooling, and did a good job. I thought I might have had a tube complement for this, but I do not. I'm looking to see if we have any info at ultradio.com. Doesn't say that we do. Radio number 4, General Radio Telephone Super MC12, 1972. Their final radio out. If you've got one of these, hang on to it, because they didn't make many of them, and like I said, they've got a lot of non-type accepted parts. So. Actually good for modifying if you want to put out a little bit more power and audio, but I think yours is working just fine. Thanks for bringing it by. And it is still quiet, so it's amazing that we haven't done our skip yet. I want to say hello and good morning to, who just jumped in there? From tomorrow. Hans, SWL 15. Let's make it official with the number 15. Let me get the right picture here. There it is. And good morning to you, and thanks for joining us here at OTR.
20.
And hello, Harvey. You sound rested. Like you're in good shape, which you always are. Wichita, Kansas, joining us in the 67202 area code. Hello to Edmonds, Washington, 98026. The Old Tube Radio Network, something we do every Saturday, and we've been doing since, what would you say, Harvey, 1986?
Yeah, it might have even been earlier. A little deal on the, sorry, my usual cough. On the MC5, if you go to CB Tricks, you'll amazingly find that Nomad Radio, I think it is, put on a schematic and the owner's manual for the MC5. In the schematic, lower right area is the circuit for the totaler, showing all the parts and their values and where to hook it up in the radio. Okay? And technically, you could probably have it in a box outside the radio, run the wires in, I guess, and have the Tweety Bird work outside the radio. Now in an MC6, I believe the bullhorn can easily be disconnected, and you could use that switch for the Tweety Bird or the total alert. You simply leave the wires hooked up in the regular position, but disconnect them from the switch and connect them up so they're always in that position, and then use the switch for the total alert. Although I think it is not spring loaded, so you would have to push down and pull up or whatever. But it's in CB Tricks under General Radio Telephone MC5 under schematics, and then you can print it out, because I did that, and I printed out the manual, and I brought it over to Sean today. So he has it all, and the tone alert's right there. So that's kind of interesting. The tone alerts on the MC3 and the 5, I would assume the 4. But I don't have the 4. I do have a 3 that in about a month or two I'm going to start working on, get it going. But that's the deal on the tone alert.
All right, sounds good to me. So if you wanted the tone alert, you got it, or just get the 5. Were you able to hear Sean's 5? That was very loud.
I heard it on the stream, and I came in here and heard it here. It's one of his loudest radios. Sounds real good. It had some problems, but Sean and I figured them out, got them done, got it ready to go today, and there you are.
Indeed. Yeah, I was surprised when he said what it was, just because of the loudness. Usually the 5s are the subdued ones, and the super 9s, 11s, 12s are loud. We'll talk about the radio you're on briefly. I wanted to say hello to who joined us. Dave mentioning the DAC-10. The DAC-X was the last tube CB radio using a Korean clone of the Cybernet PLL 02A chassis. And I believe that's right. It was a hybrid radio, but it's for 1977 or 78. I don't think anybody was putting tubes in radios, at least the CB radios anymore. And the Yaesu was still doing, and Kenwood on their amateur stuff was still doing tubes in the hybrid transmitters with their 6146s. But for CB stuff, that was it. In New Jersey, hello, Art. Question, what happened to the 5-watt power limit? Everything is 4 watts now. Are the older rigs grandfathered with 5 watts? All right, and Harvey, you should know this. So it's 5-watt DC, right? So that's what it should have been. 5-watt DC input, which is typically, and if you look at the specs on the trams and things, they'll say a full 3.5-watt out transmit. So obviously your transmit's going to be a little bit less. The sideband radios were times 3 or 4, so 12 watts output, something like that. So is that a thing? Are the radios today, are they 4-watt DC input? Is that, I don't know. I always thought it was 5-watt DC input. That's how they set it over.
I'm really not sure. I do know that when they come from the factory, they do about 3.5 going forward. Bill would know more because he does solid state stuff all the time. But I would say 99% of the radios that come out stock, all you got to do is just retune and load them, and basically they just do more. Anyway, what's I going to say? Well, I've got, this is the R68 T68. I got one more to do because I have it on. And proxy me probably the next 2 weeks because I think I'll be working. I'll try Echo Link and see what happens.
Well, I'll have it up. Hopefully, it'll be working. It's been working okay since I got back. Haven't really broken anything. Also, there's the Golden Eagle by Browning, the R68 T68. The Golden Eagle, first one to wear that badge with the smaller AM transmitter, the bigger receiver. Still only 23 channels because what? We're still in 1968, and the caveat would be, and you know this, you've got some headroom going on with the AM. So you can increase the carrier. So let's say you go from 3.5 to 6 watts. Let's say you double it, 3.5 to 7. So that's doubling your power, but you may not have the headroom you need to get the audio you want. So there is a bit of a tap dance, right?
Oh, especially with the generals, yes. And a lot of them you have the plug, or some people call it button plug, whatever, you plug in the back. And basically that shorts around the resistor that increases voltage to the modulation circuit, to the modulator. And that gives you a higher dead key and swing. But now that's if you retune the radio for max on that high side. If you do that, you lose percentage of modulation, and you might start the flat top. So basically, if I have a general and somebody's saying that somebody, well, I don't have it. If I'm working on it for somebody else, and they say sometimes they're going to want to use the high power, I try and get the happy medium between the low power and the high. If you tune it for high power, then go back to the low setting. You have to retune to get the low setting to do its best. Then the high setting is not doing its best. So I go back and forth, get a happy medium, check the percentage of modulation, make sure it's basically equal, and that's how I do the generals. But in most cases, low power is about 6-7 watts, swinging to about 15 or so just leave it.
Yeah, a lot of people, it's hard to get through that's going to make it sound better. And some radios like the Regency, the Range Gain, the Imperial are working with double sideband suppressed carrier, and you're looking at that watt meter, it's like I'm only putting out 1.5 watts. But yeah, you can bring the resting carrier up to 4 watts, 3.5, 4 watts, but you don't want to hear what the audio sounds like because you've just ruined the suppressed carrier version of that, so won't sound as loud. So unless it needs the golden screwdriver, and your screwdriver isn't gold. I think it's you have the stainless steel. It works great. Sounding good, Harvey. You're radio number 5 with the Browning Golden Eagle, and we've noted that you will be possibly listening from afar in the next couple of weeks.
Hey, Roger. Something about the golden screwdriver. Before I moved here, I was somewhere else. And I worked on radios a little bit. And I stuck my golden screwdriver, quote, in a radio while it was on, and kind of shorted out the power supply.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
And so I quickly replaced it, the parts, got back on, and people said, golden screwdriver, golden screwdriver. Well, about a week later, we were getting together at a restaurant, a little break thing, and I got presented with a piece of wood with a screwdriver painted gold strapped to it. So there you are. I got to find that. I've got it somewhere, and I'll take a picture of it when I find it. But yeah, I've got a golden screwdriver award.
And I believe it. And John, and I agree with John. He said you have the platinum screwdriver. What's the gold record? And then if you go above that, you get the platinum. So you probably have a platinum screwdriver that you actually use. But good stuff. You deserve it. Thanks for that. It is almost counting and amounting time. I will be doing that here in a bit. Or actually, I'll do it right now. So if there's another radio that needs to check in, we'll get it. There's plenty of room on the list, and then we will sign out for the evening. It is, for most, an extended weekend. If you're working, got some extra time off to play radio. Very interesting conditions. I really thought we'd be checking in Mr. Nobody and Dwayne and Chrissy and 709 and who knows who else with the skip, but it just hasn't happened tonight. So stay tuned after the net. Maybe you'll be able to talk some DX. That is legal. As long as you stay your 5-watt DC input, the FCC said, there's no way that we can keep that 150-mile rule. So that is a good thing now. Get your 5-watt radio and have a good time. All right. Thanks, Harvey.
How about this one right here?
Whoa.
Radio.
Wow. All right. That is got... I can hear the jet roaring in the background. Tell me about it.
Okay. I'm looking at the meter. Shouldn't be giving you a lot of background. Turn the mic down. Now, okay, this is an R27S23, my special R27S23. And you know why it's special, but I'm not going to go into it tonight. But I happened to turn it on, and it stayed on because it was being nice to me. So I thought I'd check it in. +2 desk mic.
That's probably why. I always think the +2 desk mic was probably, this is just my opinion, out of the mics you could get, the 776 and the D104 and the banana mic, the +2 is like the one, if you absolutely had to use it, go ahead. That makes for the interesting sound going on. It almost sounds like the old Radio Shack amplified microphone has that sound. It's very shrill. It is very loud. Got a picture of the R27S23. It's got the addition of the 180. That's the third piece. But this was the first radio that was called an Eagle because it's sort of like, where's Waldo? Somewhere on that radio, there's an Eagle.
Roger. The Eagle is just to the right of the channel knob on the transmitter, in between it and the on-the-air light.
And it is sort of a side view, a silhouette, if you will, of the Eagle. They hadn't figured, I guess they hadn't got a good model yet of an Eagle to bring it out full.
Roger. Let me try something here. I don't think you hear anything. I'm pushing a button. Nah, it doesn't do anything. I thought I'd try pushing the spot button while I'm keyed up. Doesn't do anything. Okay.
It makes a little thump. I can hear thump, 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 like you were thumping the microphone. That's what it sounds like.
Okay. Anyway, I backed off the mic. That might help. The meter's really moving, so it's doing a pretty good job. Okay, I'll let you go. It's after 10. Catch you probably in a couple of weeks. So take care.
All right, yeah, there was such a juxtaposition between the R68 T60, which always sounds grand, as full fidelity as you can get with the Browning, because they roll off all the low frequencies on purpose. And then you come to this one where you're really accentuating the mid-range, and it's a little bit shrill. It's actually louder. If you look at the Orban LKFS, you've got more gain, but the audio quality just doesn't stand up to the R68 T60, and that's probably because of the +2. Anyway, sounding good. Thanks for checking in. And the jingle singers, they want to go home. So when they sing this, you know it is time to start counting them out.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
I changed microphones. Did that do anything?
It's still loud, it's still shrill, but that took off some of that mid-rangey, so it did change a little bit, yeah.
It's the D104 I use on the Golden Beagle. Okay, well, I haven't checked the audio tubes in this transmitter probably in 10, 12, 15 years. It just keeps working. So one of these days I'll get to it, see if I got a tube that's not quite up to stuff, but working well enough. Okay, back to you. Catch you next time.
All right, yeah, I wouldn't be faulting any tubes. It's got plenty of audio, no crackling. It's just good. It's the Browning audio, and the +2 I don't think was the good match for it, and that radio sounds just a little different. So, yeah, I guess you could, I take that back. You could do an S9, you could do some tube rolling and change it if you wanted to, but we're getting a lot of thumbs up on the audio, so sounding good.
Okay. Hey, it could be the cartridge, too. I can always check it. It's the original cartridge from when I got the radio back in 1980-something, I think. Okay, we'll talk to you next time.
Indeed, counting and amounting, and want to say hello to walking in on the red carpet tonight. Yeah, that's good. Captain Robert, way out in Nevada, thanks for joining us here in Central California. Ready for the surgery. It's fashionable to be late tonight, Captain Robert, because you are in company with Hans, who joined us late. Who else came in late tonight? A couple stations. 147, Neil wandered in late. That's why the door is always open. Up there at the balcony, you can come in that way. Sneak in through the green room, and as long as you see the glowing 6L6 at oldtuberadio.net, you are not late. Anyway, welcome to the Old Tube Radio Network.
Double foot pedal, you drop power.
Oh. Yeah, I'm out of time. I got to do one, and then I got to do the other. Now I'm on the S meter.
You need an extra foot.
Yeah, and an extra hand. I'm evolving them. After doing this for how many years, it just starts to happen.
Happen.
This is the happen frequency.
I think you're right. It's a happening.
evening, gentlemen. Sounding good.
And we're trying our best.
Well, you're doing fine. Now, don't pick on this little thing. It's one of them unis. Universal.
I found the bagel to be much louder out in Sanger tonight.
Well, it's different. It's one of them universals. Don't get me wrong, Dennis. I sure do like the Tube Network, but hey, you guys been rocking for years. Keep up the good work.
So far, so good. And I agree, Sean. The bagel was the better of the two.
Yeah, the conditions, even without your pedal on, or I can hear you clear as day over here.
Pedals?
Without my pedal to the metal. All right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
All right, that was a fanfare and a half, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, there should be more. No, they're pointing to me, my turn. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark. What did we do tonight? This will be our last 8 weeks in this roster that I sort of extended because I was out of the air chair for a couple of weeks. So thanks to 195 for the 00, did a good job, and I think he'll be in the running yet again. If we look at listener check-ins tonight on the list, although you don't have to be on the list to check in, we had 19 on page 1, 16 on page 2, 18 on page 3, and 28. I think that we had that many. 28 on page 4 for a total of 81. Radios tonight, there were 6. The most heard manufacturers being Browning and General Radio Telephone. Starting off with the Sonar Model H tonight with the SC3 tone call, something that wasn't on a lot of, or included with a lot of radios, but it was available for the very reason we talked about when your other base or your mobile station was monitoring and didn't want to hear, because remember, there's cycle 19 and cycle 20, 21, 22 all happening throughout the late 50s and 60s, pretty much messing up your receive, so you want to crank that squelch up and then maybe that tone would come through, just maybe, who knows. Model H sounding good with the SC3, thanks Cliff. Sean in Sanger with the extremely loud, listen to the replay, General Radio Telephone Super MC5. I want to say that may be one of the loudest MC5s that we've had in a long time, up there with the Super MC11As and a nice D104 microphone combination. Also, signal-wise, it looked like it had more signal than the 11 did. The EF Johnson Messenger 223 from Joe. The General Radio Telephone Super MC12 from Sean out in Sanger was radio number 4. I hope I didn't leave anything out tonight. I'm sad because I didn't get to write in any DX check-ins tonight. On the radio list, we did talk to Australia, jumped in tonight, and that was fun. Hope they can do that again next week. And then Harvey with the last two, the Browning Golden Beagle R68, T68, and the Eagle, the R27, S23. So a span from 1964 to about 1967 to 68. And that's the way we've got it for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your weekend, whatever it is you might be doing. Have a good time doing it, and we will catch you next week, I hope. Nothing. It was a pretty smooth sailing tonight, wasn't it? Nothing blew up. There's still food in the green room, and that is where I will be headed. So stay tuned, and we'll keep the 6L6 glowing for a while, because it seems to be fashionable to come in late tonight, so we'll be listening in. 73, everybody.
73s.
All right, I might have did that whole transmission on the low side, but I don't know. See, there it is. I'm losing it. I'm forgetting how to do this. So 2 hours and it's out. I'm going to get some food. We're out of here.
Don't forget now, Dennis, next week, next Saturday, it'll be the Bulldogs against the Bulldogs.
Truly?
Truly. We played the Georgia Southerners, the Eagles. Now we're going to play the Bulldogs, the Georgia State.
All right, and that's what one of the listeners said, that the Georgia State are indeed the Bulldogs. It seems like we're in a different league or something this year, or they've added some teams or whatever. So the Bulldogs against the Bulldogs, that will be fun. I wonder if it will be televised, and we'll have to have a vote who has the best-looking Bulldog logo.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. That'll be a good one, but I think that one will be televised. They didn't do that one here. Doggone, it was a shame. Wish I could have seen that, but I'll catch the replay right now. I'll get on the tablet there and watch the replay and see how that game really went. But, yeah, get ready. We're going to play the Bulldogs. Bulldogs against the Bulldogs.
Well, Gil Scott Heron said the Revolution will not be televised, but the the Bulldogs will be televised. All right, Richard, are you in late? This is the in late thing tonight. Did I get you checked? Let's do this. I said I was going to stay up if somebody came in. Let me do the official 78. And yes, I'm going to jump out of the air chair because it's warm in here. Good night, Mrs. Calabash. As Walter Cronkite would say, and that's the way it is. Well, he wouldn't say it like that, but he would say. He might have been. I'll have to check. I bet he wore something like this. It probably didn't get it from Sears or J.C. Penney. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Dennis.
And it's so quiet. And no wacky interference. I guess it just got old. Shh, I won't say anything. Maple chicken. Chicken and waffles.
Hey, Joe?
I don't even know if we have a Cracker Barrel here in town.
Hey, Joe?
Well, if he's got radio on, there's no way he's not hearing.
Yeah, I'll see.
I know. I guess he turned it off.
I think that's your bagel was your skip shooting radio with the microphone you had on it to begin with. It was really loud out here.
Okay, this is the Golden Beagle. The other radio was the R27S23, and it's just that. The Golden Bagel is the one sitting next to this. I didn't have it on. Anyway, Joe, answer Joe. Oh well. Okay, I'll give you a call on the phone in a few.
10-4.
All right, and I won't do any transmitting, but what I am going to do, because it's easy now, it's easy if I don't wreck it, is switch over, let's switch over to the 20-meter antenna. And we'll jump up to, I'm curious to see if 20 meters is in. Oh, look at that.
Definitely is better around like 15, 10 meters.
That's nice audio there.
That's a little bit of improvement, but I'm going to have to dig in there and just see if there's anything that, is a capacity.
Up on 20.
I'm getting stuff through, and everything I get through is nice, but It just seems like it's down. Go ahead.
Do you usually have equipment, or is it mostly for that?
14,177.
I try and use it, every once.
That guy's off. He's not right on 77.
Everything works. I've got KWM2, 75.
Talking about some vintage gear. Not very strong, though.
Very good. Yeah, I had a brand new KWM2A that I bought from a woman in Florida.
Talking Collins radios. There's some, sounds like 4-inch stations at 228. And it is a little bit, because I don't have a good antenna, a little bit shy on 40, on 20 tonight. Let's head down to 40. And see what we got. Top of the band, no AM guys. No. No broadcast stations. Am I on the right antenna? There should be some on 40. Not big signals tonight. I wonder if unless I've got.
Yeah, good signal.
All right.
I'm halfway done with the.
This evening, I'm just experimenting with an vertical antenna. I just put up today. So I appreciate your comments on that. Over.
Well, you're a little bit over S9 on peaks on my S meter.
The guy's shaking
Tell
antenna.
me
That's
about
strong.
your vertical, because it's working.
Yeah, it's an old vertical ham here on the island is moving and.
Oh, on the island, so it might be a KH6.
An old Comet CHA 250 vertical. I imagine it's probably 40 years old.
Let's see. Somebody asked. Oh, we're listening on just a 40-meter wire dipole right now.
Just experimenting it. Also,
And it's about 5 feet off the roof. I kid you not.
Wire ZX6 built several years ago that works pretty well as well here on this location. Over.
30 meters.
Interesting. Is the vertical ground mounted, or how do you have it?
It's up about
30 meters, huh?
14, 15 feet right now.
He just has the warp bands. Yeah, on the hill here.
We're going to probably raise it another 10 feet here.
Okay, I'm not. I don't have an antenna for that. The 11-meter antenna works better on 30. I'm on the CW filter, I guess I am. Well, that's going fast for me. Was that a KV call? Yeah, that's what I thought I got. I don't have a decipher. But anyway, there you go. There's some 30 Miatros. Back to the guys on 40.
Yeah, you're down 1 to 2 S units. I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's low to the ground right now because I've been working on it.
So that's the scoop. All right. Time for some popcorn or something around here. Band is long, sounds like. All right, good night, everybody. have fun on the radio. All right. I'm not going to transmit because I'm going to have the RFI problem, but we're going to go to 7,200 and we're going to see if the band, we're going to do some quick propagation up and down the state to see if we've got conditions. I don't think we do. Listening at 7,200 on the dipole. Just barely. Yeah, just barely. Not as good as last week. Yeah, not as good as last week. The band is long. All right, but it's working from Central California to Southern California at 100 watts. It's conditions. It's like, well, what do they say in Star Trek? The band is dead, Jim. It's conditions, Jim.